Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture, and coming up today, I'm going to try and summarise all the important stuff from last night's Dynamite, because gee golly gosh, there's a lot of it. And on top of that, we're going to move over to NXT, where there have been some unfortunate injuries.
Plus, could there be a working relationship between AEW and New Japan? And NXT have signed 8 new wrestlers. Well, specifically WWE have. But anyway, this is the news.
Right, let's kick things off. Let's talk AEW. Let's talk Dynamite. I'm going to have to go fast here. All kinds of stuff last night, including wild cameos from legends of wrestling like Greg the Hammer Valentine and Bully Ray and Don Callis, to musicians like Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Slash, Chris Jericho's dad, Ted Irvin, Lars Ulrich was there, but sadly no Nikki Gooch. They were there for the 30th anniversary celebrations. Greg Valentine there for a certain match we're going to talk about. World Title Tournament has 3 new additions: Hangman Page, Colt Cabana, and Wardlow. And 4 matches have been confirmed for next week. We have, I've totally forgotten, Kip Sabian and Miro in tag action. We've got Moxley versus Archer for the world title. We've got Best Friends versus FTR for the tag team titles. And we've got Orange Cassidy challenging this man for the TNT title, Cody, who won the belt back from Brody Lee last night. What match was it? It was a dog collar match, of course, Andy, you bloody idiot. A brutal, violent, gritty affair with Greg Valentine, who, of course, participated in the most famous incarnation of this stipulation in 1983 against Rowdy Roddy Piper, and I'd say last night's match certainly lived up to that. It was textbook Cody in a lot of ways, in that he took an old stipulation's timeless elements, added to them, updated the format for modern tastes and audiences, and we had ourselves one hell of a bloody war. Both men busted open. John Silver busted open, the poor guy. Brutal spots left, right, and centre. Brody getting whipped off the apron into a cutter with the chain. The package pile driver through a table, and it finished with Cody wrapping Brody's massive skull in the chain and pulling it against his teeth, and then hitting the crossroads for the 1-2-3. Super emotional promo after that. Cody basically promising to never turn his back on the fans. And then Orange Cassidy emerged as the first challenger for next week. That's an interesting piece of booking, because Orange Cassidy just lost the TNT title match, so there's stuff to criticize there, and I will do that in my article today. Check that out later on. Lee was TNT champion for 55 days, successful defenses against Orange Cassidy and Dustin Rhodes. Cody's won the belt. It's not a burial. If you think it's a burial, I think you probably just have a grudge against Cody, to be honest, because, you know, we can't just use every clean defeat. We can't throw the B word out on every single occasion. Adam Wilborn, I've just spoken about 4,000 words in 2 minutes. Hit me up.
Good. No, I love that match. Like you say, just brutal war between the two men. If that's a burial for Brody Lee, well, I mean, I don't know what burials are anymore, because he got a hell of a lot of stuff in. He got some near falls. He tortured Cody in there as well. There may well be a third match. We were just talking about this before we started recording, that it's wide open for a sort of trilogy, a rubber match at potentially Full Gear, let's say. I have no idea what stipulation you would give that, but still, I really enjoyed that. And like you said, it's not a burial. And if you're annoyed at Cody getting the belt, watch that promo that he cut immediately afterwards. If that doesn't give you goosebumps, I mean, nothing will. But speaking of last night's AEW Dynamite, and speaking of the 30th anniversary, the 30 Jericho celebration, all those lovely messages from people, including New Japan legend Hiroshi Tanahashi. The ace appeared as one of many big names celebrating 30 years of Chris Jericho, offering congratulations. And of course, this has started the rumour mill up that there may well be a working relationship between AEW and New Japan. This wasn't the only New Japan bit of content on the show, with Moxley and Archer referencing their war, basically, talking about Wrestle Kingdom, talking about the Tokyo Dome, talking about their IWGP United States Championship clash, of course. This has, as I said, caused a great deal of speculation. The recent departure of New Japan President Howard May has caused speculation from Dave Meltzer that this may be good for a working relationship between AEW and New Japan. And stuff like this, Andy Murray, will only add more fuel to that fire, that Tony Khan could be working his magic.
Yeah, that was actually a direct quote from Tony Khan, where he said he wasn't entirely sure how the leadership change would impact the prospect of a working relationship, but his initial gut reaction was that it would be good. So, people are naturally going to look at stuff like this and go, hey, something's going on here. And you should, man. You should look at this stuff. It'd be wrong to assume that suddenly they forged this amazing working relationship. But they had overt references to Wrestle Kingdom on here. The guys openly talking about their match. Tanahashi showing up and congratulating Jericho for the 30-year thing. And of course, the use of official New Japan images, photographs from Wrestle Kingdom on AEW television means that AEW are at least going to have gone up to them and go, hey, can we use your stuff? So there's something there. There's something kind of communication is clearly going on between the two companies. I think a working relationship would be really cool to see whatever form that would take. And we'll bring you as much as we can on this situation. I'm sure Dave Meltzer will have a snippet or two in this week's Observer, so maybe we'll be able to talk about it tomorrow. Things we're able to talk about today. NXT injuries. Boo, bad. Ridge Holland apparently picked up a legitimate injury on last night's show. This came following a victory over Danny Burch, or Danny Bruch, as I've written down here in my notes. He won, he tried to keep the beatdown going. Only Lorcan came down for a brawl, and in that brawl, when Holland caught a dive to the outside, he seemingly just twisted his ankle, went over it. The referee threw up the dreaded X symbol after checking him out. We went to a commercial. When we came back, the poor fella was being shifted off in a stretcher, but he did give the thumbs up, awaiting confirmation of the severity of that injury and how long he might be out for. There were also updates on Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly, both of whom were injured at TakeOver in that bruising main event. Finn Balor actually tweeted out a picture of his jaw in 700 different bits. It's actually broken in two places. He's broken his jaw in two places. Dr. Jeffrey Westerfield, good name, came through with an update saying that once the swelling goes down, Balor will be able to speak intermittently, but there's no word on how long he's going to be on the shelf. Same goes for O'Reilly. No word on how long he's going to be out for, but he's hurt his liver. He said, I hate to admit this, but I felt all hope escape my body. It wasn't going to stop me from fighting back. I think that's what makes a champion, someone who's going to continue despite there being no hope. Westerfield said that there was no chance Kyle would have been ready for last night's show as a result of this. O'Reilly also apparently suffered some broken teeth in that match. So, wrestling has taken a physical toll on these men over the past few days, and I hope that all three of them heal up well. Yeah,
real shame if this is a severe injury for Ridge Holland, because obviously they seem to have big plans for him, and the Undisputed Era, horrible looking injury there when you rewind that clip. I've seen some people saying it's a work online. If it is, let's just let it be a work rather than calling out a potential legitimate injury as a work. And I hope he gets well soon, as we all do here at WhatCulture Wrestling, along with Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor, who just had a war, basically, on Sunday. Concerning times for NXT storylines off the back of that. I mean, I suppose if there is a really severe injury to Ridge Holland, you did get the snippet of him saying, well, basically, was he driving a Mercedes or something on NXT? And he said, oh, that's because of Adam Cole. So I suppose you could say someone paid him to do it and then switch it on to, I don't know. But main thing is we hope all three of these guys recover. And speaking of recoveries, we saw the return of Dexter Lumis on last night's show. Got hit with the cave-in post-match by Cameron Grimes, baby, straight to the moon! And of course the return of Ember Moon, who teamed with Rhea Ripley in a successful main event showing. And also, speaking of WWE and NXT, yesterday saw WWE unveil 8 new NXT recruits. One of them actually featured on last night's NXT. Leon Ruff was in that match against Austin Theory. He'll be quite well known to WWE fans. He really broke out and evolved over the last few years. 24 years old. He's done stuff on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and 205 Live. He's going to be joined by ex-Evolve wrestlers Anthony Green, Josh Briggs, Brandy Lauren, Kurt Stallion, and Joe Gacy. Rounding off the list, though, of new additions, referee Jake Clemens and Jacob Casper, a two-time NCAA All-American heavyweight wrestler. Just stacking that roster yet again, Andy.
Yeah, another handful of recruits. A bunch of these were reported like over the past few months. I think Gary Cassidy came through with talk of a few of them. I think Anthony Green in particular. PW Insider confirmed Leon Ruff, who you've seen on Raw and SmackDown this year doing jobber spots. Talented group of individuals. Brandy Lauren was in a hot tub with, his face? Damian Priest on TakeOver a few weeks ago as well. So she's already been on TV too. Let's see how they do.
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Graham Villiers, who says, do you think that Hangman is going to beat Kenny in the tournament finals and then Mox for the belt, and then Kenny comes in and wins the gold? The long, long game.
I think it's the other way around. I think Kenny's going to win the tournament. Beat Hangman as part of that, or maybe not beat Hangman as part of that, but he's going to win that tournament. I think he's going to take the belt from Moxley at Full Gear. It'll be a nice kind of full circle moment after the Lights Out match the other year, which I wasn't particularly fond of, but a lot of people loved. And then I think eventually later down the road we will get Paige taking the belt off Omega 9-10 months from now. I think that's the story they're going to go with.
Yeah, I like that, and I can see the Young Bucks potentially costing Hangman Page in that tournament. Two things. Number one, if you haven't already, go and check out Hangman Page's announcement for joining this tournament. Spectacular stuff on his Twitter. And go and read Michael Sidgwick's booking of this tournament. It's available at whatculture.com/WWE right now, because it is the D word that he doesn't allow me to say.
Daft.
Second question today comes from Matt Ryan, a.k.a. Aussie Dead. He says, in the full year of Dynamite being on air, which moments are your top favourites?
My top Dynamite moment, I would say by a mile, but there's been a lot of really good moments, so that's unfair to the other ones. But my favourite one is the lashings Cody and MJF segment. Jesus Christ, proper gut-wrenching, dramatic, heavy-hitting pro wrestling melodrama, really. It was absolutely tremendous stuff. I haven't felt that much for a wrestling segment in years. I'm a jaded, tired old dude watching decades worth of content, but this really hit me. But there's a lot as well. Pac versus Omega, the Iron Man match I thought was absolutely tremendous. The formation of the Inner Circle. There's lots I could mention. I've got a ticket. Lots of really good stuff. Basically.
Yeah, we're guaranteed to miss out something blatantly obvious, so do let us know your favourite moments in the comments. Our editor, Ben Roy, pointed out, of course, Brody Lee winning the TNT Championship in that shocker when Dynamite moved to the weekend. For some reason, my mind immediately went to Chris Jericho's parody of Cody's build to their world title match with, Chris Jericho's aunt's friend from church or whatever. Also, got to give a nod to Release the Hounds!
Yes!
which was just spectacular. But do let us know yours in the comments. I'm sure we've forgotten a whole host of others in there. Final question today comes from Mark Solid, who knows how to convince me to include his question because he put a photo of a dog wearing some sunglasses on it, saying, "Morning guys, thoughts on Team Taz teaming up with Jake the Snake and Archer?"
Yeah, it feels like we're kind of trending in that direction, although I wonder how, two groups of such devious men, how long they can coexist for. Yeah, it's an interesting little situation to follow. I think they're more likely to implode than form a permanent alliance, but for now it kind of makes sense because they all hate Jon Moxley, right? So it's a pretty decent marriage of convenience. Archer's direction is going to be particularly interesting to follow over the coming months because, man, the guy can talk. I don't think he needs Jake anymore. So lots to keep an eye on there, for sure.
Yes, of course, Team Taz currently featuring Taz, Brian Cage, and of course Ricky Slacks, I think his name is.
Strogs or whatever JR called him last
3 seconds into the show, come on, mate.
Ooh, bloody hell, yeah.
Let's move on to, and finally, and thank you to just everyone on the internet who informed myself and Andy Murray what Chuck E. Cheese is yesterday after our run-in with that. Special thanks to Tim Housen, Tim Gorniak on Twitter, who stopped to take a picture outside of Chuck E. Cheese, saying, "I can't wait to see some wrestling matches at this new federation." Andy, when we eventually return to the States, that's added to our list. We've got to get some Olive Garden breadsticks. We've got to go and have a day at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be going to America in April. That's probably not going to happen. Yeah, let's do it. Jump in the suitcase. We'll go Chuck E. Cheese. We'll get some breadsticks. Oh, bro, this mouse has just destroyed me over the past day, man, honestly. It's this wacky little face in that picture you showed me of him playing Fall Guys or whatever. Whoa, I just fell off a seesaw. We're all prone to falling off seesaws
Yeah.
here at WhatCulture, but Jesus.
I'm just looking forward to the awkward conversation in the Murray household with you and your missus when you have to let them know that I'm taking her spot because we have to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Hey, there you go. So sorry, Mrs. Murray.
Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dandy Boys reviewing the Wednesday Night War. Both shows a little bit later on today. Plus, you can let you know thoughts and Twitter questions. No more Chuck E. Cheese stuff, eh? Adam at WhatCulture WWE. You can follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray
At Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Happy Birthday, Paul Burchill, everyone's favourite pirate apart from Johnny Depp.
Why are pirates called pirates?
This is a joke.
Because they are! Follow me at Adam Will. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks, Andy Murray, to Chuck E. Cheese, to you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Someone get HR on the phone, man.